All right, welcome to lesson number 2, where we're going to be talking about the difference between electric guitars and acoustic guitars and what is best for you. So now that we kind of understand the difference between a classical nylon string guitar and a kind of standard Western guitar, now let me talk about whether you could start with an electric guitar. So an electric guitar is generally going to have the same width as a acoustic Western guitar, okay? So only the classical guitar is going to have that fatter neck, which is going to make it a little bit easier to make those notes ring nice and clean. One kind of thing that I forgot to mention about classic though is because it's a little bit wider, you're also going to have to stretch your fingers a little bit further to get those notes. So on one hand, it's easier to keep the note below your finger quieter, but on the other hand, you're going to have to stretch just a little bit more. So the best thing is to go to the music store and kind of maybe try them out if you can and see how it feels for your fingers, okay? All right, so back to electric guitar. As I said, it has the same width size as a Western acoustic, okay? So here's what you need to know. If you buy an electric guitar, of course, you're going to have to buy an amplifier with it. If you play it without an amp, you could play it, and it's actually pretty nice if you have a baby sleeping or something. You can strum it without an amp. You can still hear it pretty nicely, and it's not loud. But if you want to have that real acoustic electric guitar effect, of course, you're going to need to buy an amp, you're going to need to buy cables, and that's really all you're going to need. So here's how an electric guitar sounds if we have the amp on what's called the clean setting. Okay? So it sounds actually quite a bit like a Western acoustic guitar. And that's the beautiful thing about an electric for beginners, is that you can get that acoustic sound and that crazy electric distorted sound. Okay, so the cool thing about the electric is that you can kind of switch between both worlds. And, okay. Another really cool thing about the electric is that you have these different pickups. And we're going to get into that in a different lesson. But what you can do is switch between pickups. And each pickup is also going to give you a slightly different tone than the previous one. So the electric guitar is really very versatile, and it can sound clean or it can sound very distorted and just dirty. So you can go from AC/DC to a nice clean kind of acoustic ballad. Another question I get a lot is whether you can also use your fingers to play electric guitar, and of course you can. So all in all, the electric guitar is very, very similar to the acoustic one if you're playing at home, except that of course you're going to need an amp to kind of get all the benefits from it. A kind of a con to the electric guitar, of course, is that if you want to take it to a party, you're going to have to always carry an amp with you. So an acoustic, of course, is going to be better for that kind of bonfire, country roads, take me home experience. Okay? So that's really all you need to know about whether to get an electric, acoustic, or classic. So it's really personal preference and what you like listening to and the type of music that is exciting you and that's inspiring you to start playing the guitar. So if your reason for playing guitar is because you want to learn AC/DC riffs, then don't start with a classic. Then just please skip the acoustic and go straight to electric. Okay? All right. One more thing about the electric is that it has thinner strings, and we're going to get into string talk as well later. It has thinner strings, and that also makes it even easier to get a nice clean note out of it, okay? So the electric guitar is really a great option for a beginner. And I'm really stressing that point because I have a lot of children that want to learn electric, but their parents always think it's a bad idea and they have to start with acoustic first. And it's just not true. You can easily start as a beginner with an electric guitar, okay? All right, so let's get into the next lesson and let's dig even deeper into the world of the guitar. All right, I'll see you in the next lesson. See you there. Bye-bye.